My husband, M26, came out to me, F25, as a femboy, and I don't know how to react to it. I am not op. Original post by you, Oak Sherbet 32 on our relationship advice. My husband, M26, came out to me, F25, as a femboy, and I don't know how to react to it. December 2, 2022. My husband started getting into femboy porn around 5 months ago. Although I thought it was a little strange, I didn't think much of it. But then 3 months ago he came out to me as a femboy. He started saying he was embracing his feminine side by wearing thigh-highs, a skirt, and acting all shy and doing baby talk and talking like this. I find this a bit dehumanizing that this is what he considers femininity. The biggest problem is, he does this around our 2 children, ages 4 and 6. I told him I don't feel it is very appropriate to act this way around our kids, but he says, in these words, "It's my true self. You're just being judgmental to gender non-conforming people," which is so outdated. He also tells me that it's good to learn from dad that they can be who they want to be. It becomes embarrassing. He does this when we go to family outings, in front of my parents and my friends. I've become the laughing stock of my family and friends. I don't know how to deal with who my husband has become. I can't even bring my husband into restaurants anymore for dates because he always asks them for the kids' menu, and when they tell him he's too old he throws a temper tantrum. I don't know if something is bothering him and his outlet is dressing up as a femboy and talking like a baby, but I can no longer deal with it and I am really starting to consider divorcing him. I don't have my license because I have epilepsy, so my husband goes to pick the kids up from school every day, and both school faculty and students make fun of my kids for the way their father dresses. I have had parents tell me, it is not appropriate to be having your husband pick up your kids from an elementary school in that kind of clothing, which I am aware of, but I live 20 minutes away from the school and I do not want my kids to be walking that long in the winter. I don't want to hurt him as I still love him dearly, and leaving him would hurt me as well, but I can no longer stand my kids getting made fun of or myself. Does anyone have any advice as to what I should do? Comment. It becomes embarrassing. He does this when we go to family outings, in front of my parents and my friends. I've become the laughing stock of my family and friends. I don't know how to deal with who my husband has become. It is okay to divorce the person who you used to love and respect if they become someone who you don't love and respect anymore. And it is better to do so before you start resenting them. Comment. Your partner is taking his fetishes outside the bedroom and forcing others to participate. He may enjoy the humiliation or exhibitionism of acting like that in public. Wanting to play around in the bedroom is one thing, but what he's doing is forcing non-consenting people in public to participate in his fantasy. He's also bringing his fantasy life in front of his children. That is not okay. Comment. For context, my boyfriend and I are into something a bit similar in the bedroom. Here's my take. Your husband is being completely inappropriate by forcing other people to be exposed to his kink without their consent. You, your kids, the restaurant staff, everyone. He is an adult and needs to act like an adult in his daily life. First off, presenting as feminine and having a regression kink are 2 separate things. I think presenting as more feminine in public is fine. Trans, non-binary and other femme-presenting people are valid. Of course, you don't have to stay married to him if it's not your cup of tea. He's not the man you married anymore and you deserve to be happy. But the regression stuff needs to stay at home. In the bedroom, I'm honestly appalled by his behavior. You're not his mother. He should not expect you to deal with him having a literal temper tantrum at a restaurant. Restaurant staff shouldn't have to deal with that either. And your kids need responsible emotionally stable adults to parent them. Comment. I know multiple femboys, and while some femboys are littles, those two are not intertwined. Being a little should never leave the privacy of the bedroom or your house, and it should never involve innocent bystanders like your kids or waiters. If your husband wants to dress more feminine, more power to him, but involving people into your kink without consent is not okay whatsoever. Comment. I would just be careful and aware that someone at your kid's school may call Child Protective Services at some point, and you'll be subject to that entire process because your husband has no boundaries and is subjecting everyone to his kink without consent. Update. My husband, M26, came out to me, F25, as a femboy, and I don't know how to react to it. December 10, 2022. To start off, I want to thank everyone for the advice and show of concern for both me and my kids. It has definitely been a bit overwhelming since I didn't expect this much attention to it, but again, thank you. I had a talk with my husband 2 days after writing the post, and I told him point blank he needs to act like a grown man outside of the house and not act the way he does, or I will be divorcing him and taking my kids with me. I got the divorce papers. We both signed, and I have submitted it to the courthouse. I know I'm going to have to get a lawyer to be able to keep my kids, but I'm just glad this is coming to an end. To clarify, I do not want anything from him but my kids. I do not want money, the house, or even child support. My parents have already told me it's okay for us to move in, and they will help with needs until this is all figured out. I will try to keep you guys updated as much as I possibly can. Comment. As a child of acrimoniously divorced parents, I'd ask you to reconsider your stance on child support. My mom didn't fight for it because she was exhausted and heartbroken. Understandable. And we never really recovered financially. It's also not fair to you or the kids. He'll be living for only himself, while you take care of all of you on your own. I'm sorry it came to this. But I'm glad you have a support in your parents. And I'm sure you'll be able to rebuild in less time than you think. I'm marking this as ongoing because she's just gotten divorce papers, but hasn't started legal proceedings yet, and hasn't said she wouldn't update in the future. Reminder. I am not the original poster. No fetishes performed around people that can't or haven't consented, especially kids. Just know. Good on Oop for protecting her kids and others around her. Yuck. Femboy equals age regression. Being GNC is also equals to being an asshole. That poor woman. And those poor kids. Glad they got out without too much fighting. It's weird that he couldn't manage to be an adult for the kids. But at least she got them away from that behavior. I'm getting flashbacks to the dude who baby talked to his wife for almost a year because of a bet over a signed baseball. Not getting the house or child support is a very bad move. Who is going to help with college for her kids or whatever they need? What if anyone has a medical problem? It's a very short-sighted decision that will bite her in the ass. People getting divorced and getting custody seem to treat child support as if it's a weapon against their ex, and choose not to request it on that basis alone. In truth, it's money that benefits the children, not the custodial parent. And unless that parent has enough money that it literally makes no difference whether child support is received or not, it should be requested and received. It's not about the parents. It's about providing the best life possible for the kids. If they don't want to spend the money on the kids' needs when it's received, then putting it into a bank account for later in life is a good idea. The money belongs to the kids anyway. I mean, to each their own, obviously. But I can't deal with baby talk when people do it to their kids. As a kink, it's beyond my comprehension. That's so not embracing his feminine side. WTF. This is a bait troll for sure. At first I laughed at the concept of coming out as a femboy. I mean, I guess it would change things in a relationship for someone to start dressing and acting differently. I'd like to think it's not a big deal. But then him acting like a man-child shocked me. Like seriously. Ordering off a kid's menu is insane. Coming out as a man-child seems more accurate to this post. I'm so tired of people not seeking child support as some kind of moral high ground. That's just stealing from your kids. Essentially, it is money they are entitled to have. It is not some kind of selfish thing on the part of the custodial parent. This dude is letting his fetishes ruin his life. If he's into femboys and age regression, that's fine. But there's a time and a place. If they wanted to dress feminine outside, that's fine. But to act like a toddler and throw temper tantrums is something else. Imagine doubling down on your kink so hard that you lose your wife and kids. SMDH. She needs to get some people from the school for witnesses. She should be able to get full custody and he gets supervised visits. There is no way this isn't a troll. LMAO bro, what? Reminds me of that recent thread here about the husband who would repeatedly piss himself and then announce it in public and at family gatherings. Stupid to not get child support. Kids deserve it. It's so gross how some people think being true to themselves means exposing non-consenting people to their fetishes. I hope Oop goes for child support. She'll need it for college for her kids and whatnot. I really hope OOP's husband shows up to all court proceedings wearing his true self. She will get custody, child support and her part of the house without even asking for it. I read this and honestly didn't expect the age regression. Age regression isn't part of being a femboy. They're two separate identities. A lot of people here are pointing out age play and using age regression. But age regression in itself isn't unhealthy. I know that some folk age regress as a coping mechanism, a way to protect themselves. Age play is something else entirely and isn't approved by the age regression community as far as I'm aware. I'm not an age regressor. However, I do know some people who have age regressed and who have spoken of their experiences. What this man is doing is, I don't know. It could be age play, with a sprinkle of humiliation. I saw someone else mention that he was trying to get her to divorce him, which is also another thing. I will say that some people who discover new kinks tend to obsess over them. But yikes. I simply wouldn't go to public with this man. If he's gonna behave like a toddler, he's got another thing coming.
If you enjoyed this video, please check out our playlists full of similar content. Epic Ericast is like doom scrolling for your ears. Please like, share, and subscribe.